Back to New Day Cleveland. Why not add a little Q to your Super Bowl Sunday? Zach Lander is here. He's the executive chef of Smokin Qs Barbecue, also the chef at Giovanni's.
That is correct.
This guy knows his stuff. So we're talking about Qs now, Smokin Qs, and we're going to make an appetizer. Is this?
Yeah. So this is probably one of our signature appetizers, and it's a pretty simple dish. It's basically a queso dip, but we call it our queso mole. So we have guacamole in the bottom of a bowl. And then we make our house-made queso, and we pour it on top of there. So it's like guac and queso.
My wife ordered this last week, and she loved it.
Yeah, and it's super healthy, too.
Yeah, it's great.
So what I wanted to show was how we make our queso, which is like a little bit different. So we use a Middlefield cheddar, so it's a local cheddar. It's a nice cheese. And then we're using some, here we're using some beer from Sibling Revelry. This is their Rowan's Red. And to make this cheese sauce, we actually use a couple chemicals. They're called emulsifying salts. One's sodium citrate and one is sodium hexametaphosphate.
You lost me already. That's great.
But they're pretty cool because so normally when you make a cheese sauce, you have to add like a roux or a bunch of different things to stabilize it, and that sort of clouds the flavor profile of the beer or the cheese you're trying to sort of highlight.
So it keeps it from coming apart back into milk and water and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, so what they do is basically, and I'll actually add this to this boiling mixture of beer here now. What they do is they actually lower the pH of the mixture, which allows you to heat up the cheese without it separating. You know, if you boil cheese, it separates.
Right.
And so once we have the mixture of the two emulsifying salts and the beer going, we can sort of just like add our cheese in.
Where do you learn something like that?
Well,
from watching New Day Cleveland and listening to you, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. I learned everything from you, David.
No, I didn't mean that. I'm learning from you. No, so where do you learn something like that? I mean, not too many people would know about that.
Well, so there's actually a really great book called The Modernist Cuisine, which details a bunch of different things. And this is the way they do their cheese sauce. This is actually the way we make our cheese singles for our burger at Giovanni's as well.
Boy, those are good too.
Yeah, except for that, we use a 7-year-old cheddar cheese, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, basically, just like any other cheese sauce, I'm just going to sit here and whisk this until it all comes together. But it's going to give you that that sort of American cheese texture, that like ooey gooey Velveeta thing, but made with much more exciting cheese.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like our end goal here.
I like that idea.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
Yeah. So if I wanted to buy some of those chemicals, where would I get that?
So you can find them on Amazon. They're not, they're pretty inexpensive. They're not hard to come by.
Boy, look at that. It just stays together like a nice, because a lot of times you'll melt cheese thinking you're going to have this, but you don't have this. You end up curdling and all kinds of crazy stuff happens.
Yeah. And depending on the ratio and the type of cheese you use, the amount of chemicals you use and the amount of liquid that you use is kind of different. So it sort of depends on what your end goal is in terms of how thick you want things to be and such.
Beautiful.
Bring this off the heat now.
Looks good,
like
smells
Velveeta.
good. Yeah, look at that. Boy, it's nice and smooth.
That's the end goal.
Glossy. So we have about a minute to put it together. We can do that?
Yep. So we have our little crock here, and this is a little bit of our house-made guacamole. Pretty straightforward guac. It's got like cilantro and onions and lime and stuff. I actually put a little bit extra virgin olive oil in there too, because you got to think about Giovanni's when you make stuff.
That's right.
And
you have done a beautiful job over there forever. I mean, that's probably the most celebrated high-end restaurant in Cleveland.
Yeah. Well, Carl's done an excellent job through his career of really making sure to take care of people, and that's really what it's about. So see here, it's like we got that like Velveeta texture, right? But we got it with like really good cheese and really good beer. You got to support that local stuff. So we'll just kind of pour some of this over it.
I'd like to say right now, if you want to go to Smokin Qs, it's on Som Center Road, just
north of Wilson Mills.
Just north of Wilson Mills. So you get off 271 over there, and it's a small, cool little spot. And my wife loves the brisket. I get the combinations. My wife got this the other day. She thought it was fantastic. And there's always something new on the menu too. So if you were there like 2 months ago, you go there now, there's a whole lot more there.
Yeah, we try to keep expanding things and make people happy and stuff. And actually, so normally we're closed Sundays, but this Sunday, because it's Super Bowl, we are doing some catering out of there, and this would be one of the items you could get if you wanted to get that free Super Bowl party.
If you have any complaints, his wife's the general manager, so don't tell him, tell her, right?
Yeah, well, she's the general manager at home too. She's in charge of everything.
Okay, that's great. Smokin Qs. Okay.